Boo.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to what's going to be a very abbreviated edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and coughing bovine. Uh, Joining me is Jim with a cough in Columbus, and Bronk, who's deathly afraid that he's going to catch it somehow on the phone in
Exactly.
England.
You never know.
So, yeah, I apologize for missing shows. I usually don't miss shows. But today I just discovered I was singing online, some karaoke online. I got no lung capacity whatsoever, and my back is just like blown up, and my muscle, everything around the lungs. And I don't know what's going on, but I'm taking antibiotics, and this is my fifth day on the damn things, and this is what I sound like at this point. Uh, so would you know I'm sick? Uh, Nobody's
Oh,
answering that. Is my voice sound totally congested, Jim?
A
just
little
a
bit.
bit.
Not bad. It's
Uh,
you just don't sound like your normal jovial,
yeah,
Yeah.
furry
yeah.
bovine.
Okay. Uh, well, we where can we start? We'll start with the Cavs because they came out and just farted in the first half against the Knicks, and I was like, can we put together like a whole good game like we used to? And
No.
obviously, yeah, it surely didn't happen that night. And the Knicks were on fire, and and I was shocked. The Knicks, the ball was skipping from player to player, and they looked great without Jalen Brunson slow dribbling the offense to death. They looked like a really good team. And it was like, wow. And they're playing on a back to back. The ball was just hopping. And they were making every shot. I mean, they shot like 59%.
Oh.
I mean,
They
in the
did.
first half, I mean, it was like, my God, that's just, and that
And then
team
they
is not,
died.
and it
Yeah.
was like they were shooting like 60% from three. And it was like, no, that's not,
Yeah.
And then the second half came, and
You gotta stay with halftime because all the talking heads were just like, oh, the Knicks are so good, the Knicks are so good, the Knicks are sucking, just fucking fondling the ball, sucking and just working the shaft. They were all over that stuff. Even though the Cavs in the last 4 minutes got it back down to 7. All right, now the second half.
yeah, uh, it, it it was like all of a sudden it was like the portrait of Dorian Gray. I mean, these
They
guys turned
died.
from ball hopping, up tempo, hard defense to I play. Well, maybe I can do it like this. I wonder if I can.
I'm so slow.
No, that's not all right. I so slow. I play for Tom Thibodeau, and I have no energy. Yeah.
It's a good Bronk impression.
And it was like
Oil
all of a
can.
sudden, yeah, that's true. Wait a minute.
You do the Bronk.
Everybody's dead.
Dead.
There you go. So I'm like, what the hell happened here? And the Cavaliers turned up the defensive pressure. What's true is true, and that's right, Rich. The heavy cumulative minutes. It was like, well, they could look like a great team for a half, and then after that, man, they turned into Our Lady of the Sacred Heart. I don't know what in the hell, but we outscored them 81-47 after that point.
Yeah, that was grim.
I
If
mean,
you were a Knick fan.
Oh, yeah.
38,
And
38 and 32 in those 2 quarters. I was like, or no, it was more than that. That's only
yeah,
71.
yeah. I mean, and the thing was, I just, I was forced to watch the game initially on ESPN, which I didn't want to do because, I have,
Doris Burke.
yeah, I mean, I have this thing and it's like a natural reaction. My foot just raises up to kick her in the cunt. And I can't
It's a
help
bit
it.
harsh.
Whenever I hear that voice of hers, and she doesn't really know what she's talking about at all. Um, she could be talking about plant life in Australia and be equally ignorant about what she's talking about. And I'm, trying, and so I just turn the sound off. It's like I don't want to, listen to it. So in the second half, I switched rooms because I wanted to lay down. And on my other television, I found a stream, and the stream was actually the local Cleveland broadcast. And that was really wild. And the game before that, I couldn't find a Cleveland broadcast to save my soul. And I ended up watching the Cleveland stream on Swedish television. It was the weirdest thing in the world. I mean, it was the regular broadcast. It was John Michael and Doherty and all of them. And except it was on and it was the feed, the Cleveland feed, but it was on a Swedish television, stream.
Did they have a second audio program that went, yeah,
so it was interesting. It was interesting watching the second half, and it was like, man, I really wanted to see what was happening when the Knicks were shitting the bed and how Doris Burke was justifying it, but I just didn't have the heart because it was better listening to our people explain what was going on, which the naked eye could clearly see that they were exhausted. They were just, and it got to the point where Karl Anthony Towns, I mean, when Evan Mobley blocked his shot from,
yeah,
that was an ESPN highlight.
Just jammed it right down his throat.
That was a signature moment.
But it was the video that was captured from the baseline when Jared Allen was laying down. Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, this is incredible. After making that block, he fell to the ground and he was laying splayed over the baseline and he was going like this.
Oh yeah. He was doing the Dikembe.
The Dikembe.
Yeah. I saw that. That was on my feed.
Yeah, it was like that. Now that's fucking funny.
That's beautiful, is what that is.
Yeah, the fro was Dikembeing.
And you know what I couldn't understand? The worse it got, the more determined Tibbs was to leave his players in the game.
Oh, Tibbs was like Ed Sullivan the other night.
No, I wonder if he was a child, if his mother, before he went to school, said, "Tom, brush your hairs."
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like Tintin.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
That Tintin thing going on.
I'm like, why are your players still out there? Is this like a pride thing? And then he pulls 4 of his players off and leaves Karl Anthony Towns out there. And it's like,
for like 2 minutes. Yeah.
Why did you do that? And then I remembered why.
He was pissed, or he's an idiot.
He was pissed at Karl Anthony Towns, and I know he was, and so this is why the Knicks will never win a championship with this coach. There was a previous possession where Karl Anthony Towns, after he'd been, eaten the basketball that Evan Mobley blocked, he just, in a forlorn way, threw up a 34-foot three that didn't
Three,
even come
yeah.
close.
I remember that.
And at that point, it was like I knew Thibodeau was going to kill him. I mean, that was the end of that. And sure enough, there he was out on the floor. And with 4 guys who were G Leaguers and Karl Anthony Towns. And
Yep.
I'm like, wow, that is really fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Yeah, I was kind of annoyed because I had the over at 230 on that. while that was going on. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, the thought of Marv Albert in women's underwear.
Marv Albert.
Yeah, I mean,
Binders full of women.
oh God Almighty, that's like he'd be right up to date though with the transgender world. He'd be real happy. And then I'm ignoring one person in the chat room, but I will say something to that person, and I'll show everybody who he is because after that, yeah. I prefer Joe Shipley 1 over Joe Shipley 2, but he has to keep changing it because he's getting banned everywhere he goes because he's a hateful, spiteful guy. But I'll say this. It was nice to see that your quarterback, the overrated quarterback you have who never wins the big games in the playoffs, that Lamar is suing somebody for the use of the word 8. Because he thinks he's the only player who ever wore the player 8 because he's a dipshit, you see. He's an egotist.
Kind of think there was like a basketball guy that was pretty good that wore 8, but
Kobe.
It's kind of where I was going there.
He's dead.
I think if you put them both on the scale of greatness, I think one far outweighs the other.
Yeah. But
sure.
At any rate, I thought that was kind of interesting, but I digress. The Cavaliers got the job done, playing again in San Antonio tonight. Once again, Ty Jerome's not playing because he has knee tendonitis, and that is something you don't want to play on. So he is likely, take care, Joe. You really do. You do take care of yourself. I'm sick today, and I'm sick of you, you fucking prick. No.
Wow, that's harsh.
I just thought it was awfully kind of the Celtics to help us out as well, though. That was
unbelievable to the Heat. What in the hell was that? I mean,
it was like,
everybody thought that the Cavaliers were going to crumble and that the Celtics were going to win out. And they lay a turd like that. My goodness.
You know what I'm hoping for? I'm hoping that the Lakers and the Warriors have to play in the fucking first round so that one of them gets beat straight away. And then in the second round, the winner has to play OKC.
Well, they would.
I am so sick of these teams and the fucking national media and the international media wetting themselves over these two teams. Oh.
Yeah. And Rick Mays pointing out Carl Yastrzemski and Larry Wilson of the Cardinals and
Larry Wilson.
Troy Aikman. If you're looking at quarterbacks who had far more success than Lamar Jackson.
What was Steve Young? Was he an 8 also, or was he was a single digit?
I'm not sure if he was 8 or Eaton.
I don't know.
My wit is still there. It's just that I'm coughing up phlegm. Not real pleasant. So at any rate, the Cavaliers did what they were supposed to do, and if we can win tonight, then the magic number is 1. And we know that Wemby is gone for the season. So is one of their other players gone for the season. They're
not good now. The Spurs.
They're athletic. They're very athletic, but they have a young player named Castle who's very good. They gave us a run for our money the last time we played them. So And what the Heat did to the Celtics, there's no certainty in any of this. You go out and you play your best basketball. What has really helped the Cavaliers with the loss of Jerome is that DeAndre Hunter has stepped up, and
He looked
Mitchell as
really
well has gotten himself kind of back into a groove of putting up some threes. Yeah, Bronk.
Oh, I got a comment about that trade. I mean, if you want to see something absolutely horrific, watch Trey Young and Karis LeVert on the court at the same time. It is an
Unreal.
absolute shambles. And LeVert tries his stupid layups that are from crazy angles that roll off the rim, and then he never gets the ball for like 3 minutes. And then they give him the ball again. He tries some silly three-pointer. It is horrific to watch.
Well,
Oh,
I'm going to look this up while you're talking. I'm going to see if they have separated his stats.
oh
Um,
yeah, have a look at that. And Niang's doing Niang things. I mean, it's like we've sent Levert and Niang somewhere to just die. It is the Hawks are really a hard watch right now.
yeah, and I'm looking here to see if they have broken this down, which would help me tremendously. I don't want the last 5 games. Give me, oh, with Atlanta. Okay, good. He's playing 27 minutes a night.
Yeah,
He's taking about 11.6 shots
yep.
on average, and he is shooting 47% from the field, which is good, but his 3 point is down to a 32%.
Yeah.
So that's not good. But his 2 points are going well. He's at 60%. So he's having a good stretch, in mid range. And, it's what it is. And, Niang is Niang, and
And
if he's,
Mhm.
if he's open, he can knock down a three, and, he's a good guy in a locker room. But, we got a player in DeAndre Hunter who, quite honestly, if he was being promoted as being a guy with 7'2" length who could shoot the three, he's got a wicked mid-range game.
Oh
And
yeah.
I don't know, identify him as a 3-point shooter is really kind of insulting. This guy could be a whole lot more than just instant 3-point off the bench kind of guy. And you can see that the Cavaliers really need Ty Jerome on the floor, because Ty Jerome is a guy who gives that second unit fire.
Yep.
And now there are a lot of people in the Cavs organization who are wondering whether, you're going to add DeAndre Hunter in the playoffs as a starting player to make the fearsome foursome into a fivesome. So
Hmm.
you have that potential being talked about. So the fact that he's instant offense off the bench, that's when he was in Atlanta. But this guy can do a whole hell of a lot more than that. And
Yeah.
and Christopher is saying the difference is OKC always cries for fouls, and the officials give it to them.
Hmm.
The thing that's funny is watching the players who constantly complain. I mean, who was it that we played, the big guy that we were playing? It
Oh.
was before the Knicks game. Who was the opponent before? I'm in a fog. But every time something would go wrong, he would just start flailing his arms, complaining to the official. And, it's that's the new thing, I guess. You get attention that way. The other thing I wanted to point out before I'm done talking about the Cavaliers is it bothers me that people are saying that the favorite to win the Defensive Player of the Year is Draymond Green, and it's like, I wish a car would hit him. That's what I think of Draymond Green. I just can't stand him to begin with, but he had his day and he had his time, and his team had its day and his team had its time. They're trying to make a nice run to improve their position. The Lakers are helping them. Luka Doncic is a guy who is not in shape and has not shot the ball well since he got into Los Angeles. And so now Golden State is winning some games, and, it's bringing back the national media to, wanting them to be the underdog coming into the playoffs. But Draymond Green, he's already won the Defensive Player of the Year once. What do we have to continue humoring this person for? I don't understand it.
But
I don't know why we keep losing you, but
because I'm on my phone, and if I move, it breathes, or I think David Talevsky has the same problem. If you move or breathe or touch the wrong button, then it goes away. But yeah, I think it's Zubac on the Clippers that you were
That's
probably
right. Zubac is a guy.
Zubac on the Clippers. It came to me as I went off the air. So
just a pain in the ass.
I think it's like one of those Croatian, Serbian type things. You just to whine continually. One of those Balkan things.
Kind of like a Yugo.
Well, I mean, the thing is that who in the fuck is he? I mean, he is he's improved tremendously, but these guys, once they start hearing from their announcing crews, Zubac is a guy who's now one of the best big men, and so now he takes on this I'm entitled
persona
attitude, and it's a drag to say the least. All right, so that's the Cavs. Jameis Winston says farewell to Cleveland.
Farewell. Adios.
What a searching for story.
Adios. Auf Wiedersehen.
I don't understand, and the thing that I'm seeing on the Browns internet is that he gets us. He gets the fan base, It's like, yeah, they're losers. He's a career loser. It fits right in. And Jameis Winston was terrible. And he's going to be terrible no matter where he goes because he's not responsible for himself. The Lord is. I wish he'd stop that shit. And he went on this Instagram thing, I'm so happy and grateful for everything we experienced this past year. I'm sorry. I am not grateful for what I experienced with the Browns.
No. Make it stop.
I mean, just remember that had you gone back and stolen crab legs and came to Cleveland, it wouldn't be so friendly. Oh, here's Tony the cat. We have feedback, Tony.
Uh-oh.
Feedback from the cat. Wow. If I keep talking, I'll hear myself 5 times.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And once is enough.
Exactly. Even once is way too many.
Jameis was awesome interviewing people at the Super Bowl. That was probably the best thing he did all season.
Well, he could be a commentator.
A pundit, yeah.
He's a great commentator.
Yeah, but it doesn't cut it when you're the guy who's the most important player on the field and you're making excuses for yourself. Nobody wants an explanation. They want fucking touchdown passes and they don't want turnovers.
And they bench you in front of.
And then this is what he says.
5th round draft choice.
Here's a quote from his Instagram. One moment I'll never forget, beating the Pittsburgh Steelers on Thursday Night Football in what turned out to be the most iconic snow game in NFL history. Now, that cannot be the case.
It's not.
But it was a pretty cool game.
it was a cool game, but I mean, I still see little highlights of Bart Starr sneaking the ball in, and
The
from
push from Jerry Kramer. Yeah.
yeah,
You have to-
and I don't think that of all the snow games that's important to him because he was in it.
You mean Adam Vinatieri tractor plowing a
Tractor
little
plow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the most
Field goal.
infamous snow game.
Yeah. That was an awesome one.
I mean,
Yeah.
Buffalo
there was,
plays.
there was a great one that I was at with the Browns when they played Minnesota, and I had a free ticket for anyone that wanted to go to the game, and I couldn't find a single soul to go with a free ticket. And
People are saying
in overtime.
what great class, Jameis Winston has writing a letter like this. That's just such a classy thing. Let's see. Are you there, Tony?
Better.
It is better.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I've noticed don't use the StreamYard in Google Chrome or else it causes.
Oh, that could be my problem.
Well, what do you mean? What are you saying? Don't run StreamYard. That's how I run the program in Google Chrome.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on your phone. I think he.
Or no, not Google Chrome. Sorry, Firefox. Firefox. Don't use Firefox.
People still use
that
Firefox?
I can't vouch for that. I didn't know that even existed anymore. I thought that was like an old
Mozilla.
wasn't that an old
That's what I was thinking.
Clint Eastwood movie?
What's the Alta Vista?
Yeah,
Mozilla. Ask Jeeves. I don't know.
Hey, I signed in on Prodigy.
Oh, don't make me laugh.
Joe
because my
Shipley still
chest
uses
hurts.
AOL.
Joe Shipley shits himself. So I have. It's not personal with Jameis Winston. It's like I don't need this good citizen shit. Bring me people who take their profession seriously and work to improve themselves. The people that I look up to in athletics are the people who not are the ones who are the most talented, but the people who work the hardest to become the best that they can be. And, the people we keep seeing at quarterback, the Johnny Manziels who don't try, and I could just go through the list of them. And it wasn't about improving themselves. They just weren't able to do it. They just, and I'm sure that Brandon Whedon was a nice guy. I'm sure that a lot of them were nice, pleasant fellows. But at this point, I don't care enough about the Browns anymore, except either win or I'm off the bandwagon because I don't care about them anymore. And so Jimmy Haslam comes out and he says, "Hey," no, he comes out.
It's about time he came out.
No, woo! I'd love to put that in my holster. No, he comes out and he says, "Yeah, it was a big swing and miss by the organization on Deshaun Watson." But here's what I can tell you. He let Deshaun Watson take all the heat, and he hid, and he let it happen. He didn't say anything, and I've been screaming about his sorry trucking ass for God knows how long. And I guess for him, it was like, just let him pile on Deshaun Watson. And now everybody hates Watson so much. Now he steps out and he says, "Yeah, that was a big swing and miss hiring that spook." Enough is enough. That's not the only thing. It's like that's what every quarterback since 2011 has had in common is Jimmy Haslam. And nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. It's just wrong. It's racist. It's wrong. It's disgusting. And he won't He won't come clean with anybody. And the only reason he's saying that now is because he wants that dome. He don't want to piss anyone off. He wants the dome. So it's unbelievable.
And this
But
is
that's
this is the media you get with the Browns. I was listening to 92.3 this morning. I do every
I'm
morning
sorry.
to
That's what I was
see
thinking.
get up to date on the Cavs because I know you're not on every day anymore and all that. And the first comments I heard were, "Well, the Browns should just re-sign Chubb and then bring in Jed Wills and Elijah Moore. Bring
Yes,
back
yeah, I saw that. Elijah Moore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's going to
Yeah.
solve all the problems. Yeah.
Bring back everybody that led to 3-14 and plug Joe Flacco back in. That's going to be magic."
Well, they signed Tevin Jenkins from the Bears as an offensive lineman, and they're like, hey, he was a second-round pick, and he's been a starter. He started 11 games. I'm like, for the Bears. If you think of anyone who has a
Fucking Bears.
soaring offensive line, it's been the Bears. You know, they're pretty much going to run through quarterbacks. They're going to kill what's his
Caleb
face over
Williams.
there? Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're going to end up killing that guy. Just like,
the Browns.
you know, Tim Couch and
From what I can tell,
Everybody-
they're hell bent. Starting
I know,
next
Johnny.
year,
who's
I
what's
didn't
that?
hear
Sorry,
Kenny
Tony.
Pickett's going to be your starter next year. Watch.
Yeah.
you. Yeah, well, I mean,
God, I hope I have a heart attack so I don't have to
well,
watch that.
I won't even broadcast. I won't even do the halftime and postgame shows. If Kenny Pickett's the starting quarterback, I ain't doing it. That's just not serious, and there's no reason. And at that point, I'm finished. I mean, you have many options, and that's like the absolute we're going to lose every game option. And that's fine. If he wants to do that and that's what it takes to get his dome, that's fine. But I don't have to support it, you know? It doesn't have anything to do with, you know, and if fans are willing to, you know, if they're really in love with Jameis Winston, they really, really going to love Kenny Pickett, little hands bastard. You're going to love him. I guarantee you they'll boo him because he sucks. But at any rate, here's something that I thought was really interesting. I was taking some heat on Twitter because I'm not speaking well of the Guardians early this season, and it's not that this was not predictable. I mean, it's totally predictable. What's not predictable to me is why fans believe that last year was the absolute binding truth about this team. But I want to change everybody's mindset and convince you that the Guardians are in deep shit, all right? And are likely to have close to a 95 loss season, all right? And here's why. The manager of the team, Stephen Vogt, who last year was as good a coach as you could imagine, when they asked him if he was concerned about the early going, and his comment was, well, we really don't have an identity right now. We don't know what our identity is.
That is their identity.
And I'm
Zoink,
like,
Scoob.
you might as well just, you know, come out and say that, you know, that Dolan is an asshole. You might as well. I mean, you don't know who your identity is. Well, let me explain who your identity is. It's Carlos Santana for the second time. It's Nolan Jones for the second time. It's replacing Jimenez with Schneemann. That's what it is.
Oh,
It's
no, Arias is never mind.
exactly. I mean, a guy, and you look at these people career-wise, it's like Schneemann has never had a position. I don't know if you know that. You look up his minor league record. He has
Wow.
never had a set position. If you go to all of his minor league years that he was playing, and he's 28 years old now. Second base, outfield, right field, left field. It's like he has no position. He's a man without a position.
It's one of those
And-
four A guys, you know,
And Arias is a buckethead. He just doesn't
dumb as hell.
not with it. And Nolan Jones, I have a nice little article about him. The headline: Nolan Jones wants more than a cup of coffee in Cleveland. Well, in order to get more than a cup of coffee, you got to play decently. And, you know, it's unbelievable to me that we traded him to the Rockies and got Juan Brito, and Brito will never come to this team to play. They say he can hit, but they don't want to bring him up at all. But they're willing to get Nolan Jones back and give up another guy. Well, Tyler Freeman's injured now because he slipped and fell in a shower. So it's like we're just trading
Wow.
ineptitude for ineptitude, right? That's what our identity is. And our identity is Logan Allen, who you can keep throwing him out there, but he's not going to get people out. He's a nibbler. He doesn't have major league stuff. And he's weak-minded. And if he sees the fifth inning, bye-bye.
Well, and Nolan or Logan Allen, the one stat that they brought up about him the other day when he pitched was he led the majors in run support with 8 runs per freaking game.
Yeah.
That's
and
how he
still-
won any game. That's how he won half his games. Is they scored 8 runs a game for the guy. I mean, good grief! You and I could go out there a couple times and with 8 runs a game. I mean, geez. Well, all right, we couldn't go out there, but you know, there's a lot of guys that could win a few games with 8 runs
Yeah.
run support. Unfortunately, it's the rest of the team outside of Bybee, and that's
But I mean, you look at Nolan Jones and you say to yourself, well, we thought he was going to be, well, he was in the long list of, you know, Tyler Naquin's and the people who we have given spot duty in the outfield because none of them are good enough. You know, they're all a bunch of Miles Straws. They either have no bat in their hands and they can play defense, or you know, it's one or the other. They can't find a power hitting corner outfielder. And as long as Quan and what's his name, the guy we got in the trade last year, Lane Thomas, are out there, you're not going to have 2 or your 3 outfielders are not going to be power hitters. And John Kenzie Noel, as long as he can't hit off-speed pitches from right-handed pitchers, and Nolan Jones, as long as he can't hit left-handed pitching, then what do you got? And so here he is, Nolan Jones, talking about, well, if I was going to be traded, I'm glad it was back here again because I knew some people. You weak-minded little piece of shit. I mean, come on, you know, straighten your spine out and get yourself out there. And he was concerned because a couple of days before opening day, my biggest concern is that I have to go into a new clubhouse and introduce myself to 60 new people. What about the thousands of fans you play in front of? It's like, that's not what you want to hear from somebody.
No,
But
that
I
sounds
came
extra.
here, that he says, but I came here and felt pretty comfortable.
That is very introverted sounding if you're afraid of walking into a clubhouse. You know?
As far as the guys go, I felt like I was accepted pretty quickly, said Jones. I still kept in touch with a lot of these guys. I had a lot of these coaches coming up through the minor leagues. As a matter of fact, I feel like I am back in the minor leagues because I am. Because I'm playing with Schneemann and Arias. All my buddies who have failed to make it in the big leagues. So far, he's hitting 200, 3 of 15, with 2 doubles. It's like, oh, 2 doubles, but he struck out 7 times. Half the time he's at the plate. Swing and a miss.
So in 23, when he went to Colorado,
Yeah.
he played in 106 games and
Yep.
had 126 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He did
Wow.
bat 97, and then in 24, he only played in 79 games.
He reverted
Kept
back to
that
what he is.
trend with 91 strikeouts.
If you hit a ball and elevate it in Colorado, it leaves the park.
That's
All
what
right?
I'm thinking. I'm like, it
It's a
doesn't.
one-off. And
he
he
hit,
wasn't good enough to keep his job in Colorado. My goodness.
He did have 20 home runs the one year. He only had 3 the second year, but I think he was hurt last year.
He was hurt, but he's not been a consistent power, guy. On the other hand, Kyle Manzardo is actually hitting some left-handed pitching, and you're seeing when he gets that on ball, there ain't no doubt it's leaving the park. They go like 430 feet. It's like there are players who have it and players who don't. We have a bunch of players who just don't. Besides Logan Allen, I mean, Luis Ortiz is lost.
Oh God!
I mean, did they think that 1 year with the Pirates was gonna make a damn bit of difference? I mean, that guy is lost. It's bad. It's ugly. And you're going to rely on Ben Lively?
No.
They're waiting for Biebs to come back. That's what it is.
They could wait and wait and wait. I mean,
and even when he does, who knows what's going to happen?
And I keep an eye on Bazzano in the minor leagues just to say they started him out in Double-A. That's what they do.
Well, he's in Akron. It's nice.
Huh?
He's in Akron. That's nice. So, but there's this. It's not. I'm hoping he gets to come to Columbus. But my thought is, honestly, he's going to go straight from Akron to Cleveland. He's not going to come down here.
Well, you say that, but the bottom line is they don't care how good he is. They just want to make sure they can control him for as long as they can from a contractual basis. That's what these people do.
Well, and that's that whole mid-market teams that try to small market baseball. You're trying to it's throw a whole bunch of people in the outfield and see if we can get somebody to stick.
That's right. And you end up training him for Juan Brito, and then Juan Brito never plays the infield.
Well, and when they got Manzardo, it kind of like Manzardo was like the extra piece of the thing. It was kind of like, who the hell is this guy? Because if you looked at his stats at the time, it didn't look all that impressive. But boy, he's starting to get it together. So, I mean, I'm kind of becoming a big fan. I'm liking it. So, but I'm not buying anybody.
Thanks for jumping in. Appreciate it.
I'm not buying anybody else's jerseys for a while because I have
you were the kiss of death with jerseys.
I got Naylor and I have Lindor. So I do have Jose. So I'm feeling okay there. I kind of felt that way with Lindor, but I just knew at some point in time he was going to end up being a Yankee. So I was wrong.
It's just
still, same difference.
It's just a mess. The whole thing is they don't have an identity except a bunch of career minor league people or old men or people whose bats have slowed or pitchers who top out at 91, 92 and have to nibble and don't have an out pitch and who don't throw ground balls and on and on and on. And now you've thrown Clase to the wolves because you overused him and
he's dead.
You Francona'd him, and by the way, the Reds are now tied for history, having scored 0 runs in 3 consecutive games to start a season.
Wow,
oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, that's really fucked up.
I am kind of happy. I am headed to Pittsburgh to watch the Guards play in Pittsburgh on this Easter Saturday or whatever it is. So So I'm
Yeah,
kind of excited about that.
I'll tell you one thing: we were at the wrong place at the wrong time with the Padres. What the fuck is up with that? 7-0.
Something else. Yeah, there's something else.
They're on some kind of a roll. And that pitcher that they threw at us, that we looked like a high school team against him. Who is that fella?
All I know, it looked like the Bugs Bunny thing with the 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out with.
I mean, he was just, it was blew by you.
Steer.
And he just made us look stupid. So, yeah. And every time they needed a big plays, that play at third base, but by Arise, I mean, he dives, knocks the ball down, it rolls behind him, he reaches back and in one motion throws it to first and gets the out. I mean, they were just playing tremendous ball, and they're, I don't know that their Padres are going to be able to continue that, but my goodness,
They stole
on a
home.
roll.
Yeah, they did a double steal and stole home, for God's sake. Who does that?
Well, what they do is they saw that the idiot was at,
Arias or whatever.
Yeah, all he would have had to have done is tag the guy out, and the guy wouldn't have crossed home plate. Instead, let the guy who was in the rundown go and tried to throw to home, which is the panic play that they were trying to get out of a minor league player. It's embarrassing. They're just not serious. They're just not serious, and that's their identity. I don't know. So before I get out of here, let me check the schedule just for the sake of argument here. Cavaliers are on at 8:00, by the way, and you can.
Guards are on at 9:38 tonight. At
Who
the
is?
Angels.
The Guards are
Guards
yeah,
on
they're
at
West
9:30.
Coasting.
Yeah. So
And
9:30 tomorrow.
And we've got Chuma Okeke now. The Cavaliers have agreed to a deal. That's the final open roster spot. So anybody who's expecting somebody who knew how to play. Yes, Bronk.
I got a question for Dwayne Stats. Has he gone to any games at Tampa
I can't
Bay
do
yet?
that. In my condition, there's just no fucking
You're going to
way
die.
I'm gonna-
But no, I mean, it must be like 90 degrees and 90-degree humidity there. I mean, who's going to these games? You know?
I don't know. I guess I can't get what that's really weird. I'm looking to try to, and let's see if this will work. God. So Ty Jerome's out and Dean Wade's out. The one thing that you can count on is that Dean Wade, if he has an illness, it will last 3 times longer than a normal person's. I've never seen a guy miss more time than Dean Wade.
It's Bigfoot syndrome.
Yeah, I just wonder what the story really is.
He has to go back to the mountains of Utah, hike around for a few days. It's in his contract, I'm pretty sure.
Hello, Big Lurker. How are you? But I got to get out of here because you can hear my voice.
You're dying.
Is deteriorating.
Yes.
So I want to rest tonight.
A cow in ill health.
Yeah, and as far as I know, this has been like this now for a week and a half.
Have they checked for foot and mouth disease or,
Hoof and mouth.
mad cow, bovine encephalopathy?
Well, I got to finish up this round of antibiotics and see. I will say that at least the phlegm isn't green anymore. What I'm coughing up is clear. So the infection part of that, but it's across here.
So the udders are swollen.
The udders.
Constant coughing. No, one or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's just an utter sickness.
It radiates
It's an utter shame.
To the back, and it's bad news.
Oh.
And you know something, Rich?
The other side.
I will comment on this. Every one of you that voted for that cocksucker, you're all going to get what you deserve. Every one of you. I don't feel sorry. I got enough money salted away. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to live long enough to burn through the money. But you young folks who voted for Donald Trump, now you see what you get. And you're going to have your 401ks taken away from you. You're going to have everything. You're not going to get Social Security. You're going to get nothing. And you'll like it because he is Judge Smales.
How about a Fresca? Scholarship winner.
And you know, everybody knows that I hate Trump, but this isn't really just him. He's a pawn. This is a power play of wealthy people. And it's, I don't know if you saw that the vice president of the United States, J.D.
Great
Hillbilly
guy.
Vance, he was actually at an event, and the event was called Make America Wealthy Again. If that doesn't say it all.
Wow.
That's what con men do. They convince poor people that they can scratch off a ticket and they can make money, or they get scammed on the internet. You know, all you have to do is give me this and I'll give you that. Or if you're a prosperity church, you give to the church and you'll get back. That's what con men do. Everybody can't be wealthy, but you should be able to make a tenable living. Right now, man, the stock market, which is all Donald Trump talked about. Well, the first time I was president, my gosh, you know, the stock market was booming. Well, what happened to that? And if these were such great ideas that Donald Trump came up with, why didn't he do them all those years ago? He's a fucking liar. He's a piece of shit.
Tony Stank is telling him to do it. So,
I mean, so he just thought of this being out of there for all these years. He just thought of that. No,
it's the syphilis.
It's somebody else's agenda. So you get what you pay for. Thanks everybody for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. And you know something? When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Right, I'm right. I hope everybody has themselves a good weekend. Let's go Cavs. And Guardians, try to step up and do better, you know. And we'll see if the Cavaliers can get it done in San Antonio tonight. Bronk, thanks. What is he showing me here?
The block and the shot. The block and the shot.
Oh, from the championship.
That's the championship. I'm actually in my office.
Wait, hold it up again so we can get your belly into the big. Okay.
Hey, the belly is smaller than it was.
That's a scary thought there, Hammer.
It is noticeably smaller.
Yeah, that's good. I can see it in your
I have basically gotten rid of 2 bowling balls. So
yeah, well, I can see it in your face too.
Yeah, definitely the face as well.
Yeah, that's what happened.
It kind of sucks because all that when it's all stretched out and it looks like I'm younger than I really am. So, you know.
But you know, when you lose weight,
that's Dylan Rivers.
Yeah,
did you
I
notice
can
that?
fit in all these shirts again, but before I didn't have to press them or steam them, and now they're like wrinkled because my fat isn't stretching them out so much. So.
Yeah. But don't worry. The more you lose off your face, the older you'll look, and that's one of the beautiful things about it. Look at me. I'm not Sandra D. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. Hey, actually made it through the hour, which is amazing to me.
Yay.
Thank you, Bronk. Put on
Go
your
Cal.
shirt. Thank you, Hammer. And thanks, everybody, for jumping in and helping out. Until next time, whenever that might be, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.